Hey guys, Brian Hilliard here, author of the best-selling book Networking Like a Pro and creator of the popular program How to Expand Your Reach, Impact More Lives, and Get Your Message Out to a Wider Audience. Now today we are going to talk about the one thing that all paying clients have in common. It's the one thing where when you take a look at it and you realize what's going on, it's just like, oh my gosh, this is just such a breakthrough. Because here's the thing, if you're going out there, if you're a service practitioner and you're not doing this thing or you're not able to kind of recognize this one thing, let me tell you what in all likelihood is happening. In all likelihood, what's happening is you're talking to a bunch of tire kickers. You're talking to people who really aren't, ready to move. They don't have the money, or they tell you they don't have the money, and you wind up, quite frankly, just doing a bunch of free coaching. Conversely, when you do this thing that we're going to talk about, hopefully implement it into your practice, a lot of things happen and all of them are good. You start being able to get your message out to a wider audience. You start being able to impact more people. You start being able to talk with people who have money, who then actually pull out their checkbook and actually work with you as a paying client. And quite simply, it is this. The one thing that all paying clients have in common is they all have a burning desire to move forward. Now, let me unpack this for you. I actually wrote this down here. Allow me to read this real quick. It says there's a big difference between a burning desire and this sounds like something I might like to do. Okay? The former comes from a place of wanting to move and wanting to change your current circumstances or situation, and at the root of it is a dissatisfaction with where you are. And even though you might not know how to get out of it, or even the specific steps or direction you need to take in order to get out of it, you recognize that where you are is not good enough. It's not where you want to be. Again, that's a burning desire. On the flip side, the latter is a conversation about where you would like to be under an ideal set of circumstances. That's important. Where you would like to be under an ideal set of circumstances, or if all the lights were green, as my girlfriend likes to say, kind of like when you're driving. The only time you went to the supermarket is when all the lights were green. You would never leave your house, right? So she likes to say that, which I love. It's a conversation around perfect timing and things lining up and hoping that everything works out. As a service practitioner, whether it's a coach, consultant, whatever the case may be, we want to be working with people who want to make it happen. We want to be working with people who might not be sure of the steps that they need to make it happen, but have a burning desire, a desire to change and to move and to want to move forward. Otherwise, all you're doing is talking with people who have a bunch of wishes and desires and they don't have enough of a burning desire or the energy to push them through the fear zone, so out of their comfort zone, through the fear zone, and ultimately into the place of working with you and pulling out their checkbook. Okay, that's kind of the progression. Separate conversation, comfort zone, fear zone, learning zone, okay, and it actually turns into a growth zone. But the idea is that if you're not talking to people who have that burning desire, then you simply won't be talking to enough people who actually are pulling out that checkbook to get past their fear and quite frankly, anxiety, okay? Now, how can you determine whether or not somebody has a burning desire? It's not so much one thing that I've noticed. I mean, we'd love to hear if you have some comments or something like that. If your experience has been different than mine, I'd love to hear that. But in my, or just whatever, but in my experience, it's been a lot of things. What I'll do is I'll look to see how people are kind of relating in general. So like if I'm talking to them like on a virtual coffee or maybe just even a coffee connection in person, I'll just kind of see how their demeanor is. I'll be like, hey, listen, how have you, you've told me that you have this challenge, you have this issue. What have you done to address it? Like I'll ask those types of questions. If I kind of get these kind of mamby-pamby kind of answers, that to me is not somebody who has a burning desire. Something that a friend of mine, David Andrew, does, he's out in the UK, one of the things that he does is he actually looks to see how quickly when you're setting up like a virtual coffee or some type of networking, he actually wants to have a conversation about how quickly you get back to him too. Okay, and I think that's an interesting way to do it because, it's not like you need somebody to get back to you right away. But if it takes 4, 5, 6 days or even 3 or 4 days, unless there is a reason for that, like He's looking at it and saying, well, this just doesn't seem to be as pressing of a problem. Okay, so these are a couple of things that you can be doing. You want to be just kind of looking at the overall writ large. Does it look like that's something that's impacting their lives? I'll ask people. I'll say, hey, listen, you told me that you're not able to get out to a wider audience. You're not able to get and impact more clients, and you're not able to, whatever. How has this impacted you? If it sounds like they're kind of going through normalizing behavior, well, this is how it is, but I'll just have to learn how to live with it, kind of thing, then again, that's not a burning desire. What you're looking for are people who are like Johnny on the spot. I call that tanto pronto. What you're looking for is people who are like, you know what? Yeah, let's sit down and have coffee next week or later on this week. What you're looking for is people like, boy, you know what? I've tried to work on this. I've read some books. I've done some things. I got to tell you, I've just given up, but I am totally open to hearing what you have to say. That's what we're looking for. Burning desire. That's the one thing that all paying clients have in common. Now, as a matter of fact, if you would like, I'd love to be able to have you like, share, or comment right below. I personally take a look at all the comments. I reply back to them myself. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what it is that we have to say. But in the meantime, my name is Brian Hilliard, saying so long, take care, and thanks so much for your time.